Hi, welcome to your practice. Thank you for joining me. My name is Mary. Today we are going to explore ways to decompress after a stressful situation. So I think there's some misconceptions about stress, that all stress is bad. So this is simply not true. We need stress. We need stress for our survival. But what happens is if we're in a constant state of stress, this is where disease states can be caused by stress. So what we're going to be doing today is going through a series of exercises that can help to decompress after a stressful situation, get you in a state of relaxation. So this can be these poses can be very helpful before bed. Also before eating. So get yourself into a state of relaxation so that you're primed for optimal digestion. So let's get started. Come to your mat. So we're going to begin in mountain pose, a foundational pose of yoga. So notice your feet, have them about hip width distance apart. If they're not exactly hip width distance, that's fine. Find a solid base. So feel like all four corners of your feet pressing into the earth. Have a slight micro bend to your knee so you can feel the muscles of your legs hugging your legs bones. So the muscles will be offering support, taking some of the stress and strain off of your joints. Now begin to extend your spine long. So imagine somebody's pulling a string from the crown of your head. So finding an extension, and then we're just going to draw our shoulders to our ears, but then draw shoulders down and back and let your arms release. So one type of a breathing pattern that can be really helpful if you're in a stressful situation or you've had a stressful situation is a 3-part breath. So what that means is using your full lung capacity to take in air. So we'll begin by bringing in air first through your belly. So your belly will pooch out, expand your ribs, and then bring the air all the way up to your collarbones, and then let the air go. So let's practice that. So take a breath in, starting from your low belly, expand your ribs all the way to your chest, and sigh the air out through your mouth. Let's do that one more time. So air in through your lower belly, expand your ribs all the way up to your collarbones, and then let the air go. So now we're going to practice another breathing technique where we extend the exhale. So that's a way to get you into your parasympathetic state or your relaxation state. So we'll begin by coming into Tadasana or mountain pose. So find your pose, draw your shoulders back. Close your eyes if it feels okay for you. And what we're going to do is a little experiment. Just notice where your breath is. So count your inhales and your exhales. So for example, count for 1, 2, 3, inhale, 1, 2, 3, exhale. So what we're going to do is count for 1, 2, 3, inhale, and then go to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale. Now just go with your own breath, just consciously focusing on extending the exhale. So if there's one practice that you want to do to decompress after stress, this would be my number one choice, just breathing. So as we go through class today, I'm going to utilize this breathing practice. So we'll go through a series of poses. Your inhale will be slightly shorter, your exhale will be longer. So just pay attention to my breath cues. You'll totally get it once we settle in. Okay, so let's start with a little bit of movement. So inhale your arms up for a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then exhale for a count of 6 to the left as you lean over to the side. And then breathe in for a count of 3. And then exhale to the other side for a count of 6. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3. We'll go to the starting side. Breathe in, and then exhale slowly. And then take a breath in. So next what we're going to do is give ourselves a big hug. So give yourself a hug, noticing what arm is on top. And we'll breathe in and then exhale. Take a breath in from your belly, ribs, and chest. And then exhale down. And one more time, breath in. And exhale your arms down. Now we're going to hug ourselves again, but let the opposite arm come up. And it might feel a little uncomfortable because typically your dominant arm goes on top. So we'll do the breathing pattern again. Take a breath in, giving yourself a nice big hug because you deserve it. And then exhaling down. And then one more time, breath in and exhale down. Okay, now we're going to come into an all fours position on your mat. So begin by bringing your hands underneath your shoulders. Your knees will be about hip width distance apart. Spread your fingers wide. And we're going to come into a pose called cat-cow. So we'll bring our chest forward and tailbone up as we breathe in. And then exhale, tuck in your tailbone, bring your chin towards your chest and rainbow your spine. And we'll follow that same breathing pattern. So inhaling for about a count of 3 and exhaling for about a count of 6. Breathe in and out. And then we're going to sink into child's pose. So bring your butt towards your heels. You could come onto your forearms, let your neck relax. Or you can bring your hands in front of you, stretching long, rest your forehead on the mat. You can have your knees wide or your knees close together. And we'll just take 2 breaths here, breathing in for a count of 3, exhaling for a count of 6. Take a breath in and out. Now come back to all fours. Curl your toes, bring your hips high and back. So we're coming to a pose called downward dog. So your knees can be quite bent. In this pose, your fingers are spread wide. Draw your hips towards the earth and your heels towards the ground, but your knees can be bent. Let your neck relax. Now we're just going to pedal our feet, breathing in, bringing one heel towards the ground, and then switching, bringing the other towards the ground, just stretching out the back of the leg a little bit. And we'll just do one more with each foot. Now look to your hands, walk your feet to your hands. We're going to come to something called halfway lift. So the crown of your head will be forward. You could have your hands on your shins or your thighs. Your spine is long. From here, your feet are about hip width distance apart. Bend your knees a lot, and we're going to forward fold. So you're folding so that your chest is resting on your thighs. Let your neck relax. You can have your fingers tented alongside your feet, like in front of your feet and off to the sides. So now what we're going to do is we're going to slowly rise up to about a count of 3, chin to chest, and then let your chin come to neutral, and then we're going to forward fold. So we'll go through this series. Exhaling as you come down to about a count of 6. And slowly rising up, chin to chest, neutral, chin neutral. Now bend your knees and fold again with your breath, exhaling for about a count of 6. We'll do that one more time. Slowly rise up for about a count of 3. And then exhale, knees bent, forward fold, neck relaxed. Now plant your hands. We'll step back into all fours, and then we'll just find our way to a seated position. And bring your legs out in front of you, and then place your feet on the ground. And we're just going to come into a forward fold series. So similar to what we did standing, we're going to do it sitting now. So take a breath in, bring your arms out to the side. I call this cactus arms, so your elbow will be at about a 90-degree angle. Take a breath in for about a count of 3, and then just fold over, relaxing your neck for about a count of 6. Take a breath in for about a count of 3, opening up your heart, and then fold over. Take a breath in and fold. Now come to a seated position. We'll be rolling onto our back. So your knees will be up. Your hands can be alongside your body to start. Now lift your feet off the ground. Place your hands on your knees. So take a breath in, and then we're going to exhale, drawing your knees to chest for about a count of 6. Take a breath in, move your knees away for about a count of 3, and then exhale, knees to chest. Breathe in, knees away. Exhale, knees to chest. Take a breath in and exhale. Now you can place your feet on the ground about hip-width distance apart. Find a placement for your heels where you can just scrape your heels with your finger. If that doesn't feel good for you, you can move your feet, adjust your feet so you have a nice solid base. We're going into a pose called bridge pose. So what we're going to do is we'll press our feet into the earth, lift our hips up, and then we're going to bring our arms overhead. If this feels okay, if your shoulders don't like that, you can keep your hands by your sides. And we're going to lower down. And we'll do that with our breathing pattern. So breathe in for a count of 3. And slowly lower down for a count of 6. Breathe in. And let it go. One last time. Breathe in. And let it go. Now, place your hands underneath your low back, and we're just going to bring our feet up. So this is one of my favorite poses to do right before bed. And you can do some things like point and flex your feet. Now just letting go of all breath control and just falling into your natural rhythm of breath. It might feel good to roll your ankles, starting one direction And then the other, maybe moving one ankle in an opposite direction. And then we'll come to our final resting pose, Savasana. So traditionally, Savasana, your legs will be in a slight V, your arms out to your sides. If this doesn't feel comfortable for you, find a position where you can feel stillness and comfort for this last bit of class. So as you're resting here, just begin to fall into your natural breath. Not trying to control your breath, just coming to a natural breath rhythm. Bring awareness to the backside of your body. And imagine that your whole backside is growing roots into the earth. Finding the earth supporting you. And as your roots grow deep into the earth, you'll feel the nourishment of the earth, drawing nourishment through those roots that you've planted into the earth. You're grounded, you're secure. And we'll just take a moment to rest here in this grounded state. There's nothing left for you to do. You can just simply be. Begin to draw awareness once again to your breath. Lengthening your inhale and exhale, bringing in oxygen and energy. You might feel some wiggles in your fingers and your toes. And as you continue to breathe deeply, you might feel some movement in your arms and your legs as your body starts to come awake again. In your own time, when you're ready, roll on to a side that's calling you. You can use your arm as a little pillow to support your head, perhaps bringing your knees up towards your chest in a child's pose. And take a moment here to thank yourself for taking time out of your day to come into a state of relaxation, taking care of yourself. Taking that time for self-care is so important. So when you're ready, you can come to a seated position. Draw your hands to your heart. Traditionally, at the end of a yoga class, we say namaste. It's kind of a way to say, I see you, I support you. So I see you and I support you. Namaste. Thank you for practicing. If you find that you don't have time for the full practice, even using one or two of these practices to help you decompress is a really powerful way to take care of your health, take care of you. Take care.